here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life-born spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher. Bring a freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring a master teacher. Bring a freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on. They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished. They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to rob brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our opposition?
He's been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. make our dreams come true, for a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about for the master, master teacher, freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring it master teacher, bring it freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
To say, by way of the forces of Hu, Hua, Hu He send greetings to you all with a shock. I am Happy Re Atam Hatab, Dion Prudent Rohobat. He send greetings to you all with a shock, divine unconditional love. I am Happy Re Atam Hatab, one of the many student teachers of the master teacher, Parnababia Nanan, galactical master of heaven and earth, affectionately known to us as Baba Yanun, incarnated Nazar or Riskian into the body of His Excellency Dr. Malachi Z.K. York Okran, 33 degrees over 720 degrees. Today's class is entitled, Who Created God? What do Sabians of Wu-Sabat say about this subject? Curtis Dow, Robert. Right. You know how we run things here. So let's say, yeah, Rohobat to you all on Clubhouse, Rohobat to you all on Zoom, and Rohobat to you all here at the chat on 1 Church Street, Croydon. Hope that everybody's doing well this shadow hour period. And you know how we run things here. Did I say who I am? Happy Ray Atam Hatab? I think I did say it, but anyway, Happy Ray Atam Hatab, if I didn't say it. Anyway, so yeah, so you know how we run things here. Who created God? Let's put it out there. Anybody? Who created God? Simple question. Any takers?
Robert Jamal, the question is which God?
Any God. Who created God? And yeah, created God.
On the monotheistic religion, is religion itself to control.
Any God. Oh, hang on, we can't hear you very well, Zamal.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, well done. Yeah, so
Yes.
who created God? Yeah.
The
Before
God,
sorry, Jose. Before you start, You said a very good point there. Which God? I can work sort of when you say which God, does that mean that there's more than one God?
There are many gods out there, depending on the culture, religion, or yes, I would say culture and religion. There are many gods out there. For the monotheistic, from Dravidian, from the Asian thought, there's too many different stories with gods out there.
Okay, so there are many gods, but for the purpose of this forum, no, I think that's very good. I was about to say for the purpose of this forum, let us stick to God of monotheism, but I'm not going to do that. That's correct. There are many, so there's more than one God. But yes, so there's more than one God, but who created? If there's more than one God, who created the God or gods? Say
The all Zamal.
that again. Insects?
Yeah, insets. I'm saying the all Zamal created the gods.
But they all created, all the other gods created each other.
No, saying the all.
Are they
Was
all
created,
created?
yeah, we're created by the all.
Oh, okay. So that's a very very good very good answer. Okay, very good. You're on the right track. You're definitely on the right track. So you hit the target.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
God as a concept, as narrated by the master teacher, was created by man, by McCaustle, in his image and after his likeness, then said, God created man in his image and after his likeness. And by saying that, I'm really referring to, let's say, monotheism, by saying that man created God in his image and after his likeness, then switched it around and said God created man in his image and after his likeness, meaning that really the Muqasu or the Mu'adamu, if the Mu'adamu is in the image and likeness of God, and to seal it, they then said that the Son of Man, Jesus, is in the image of God and made the Son of Man in their image and after their likeness. What that concept is doing is enforcing race superiority and race inferiority. Hello? For others. Race superiority, enforcing race superiority for themselves and race inferiority for others. So now, in whose image and likeness are we worshipping as God and the children of God? If God is not in our image and after our likeness, the question we're asking is, in whose image and likeness are we worshipping as God? Because that then enforces the spell of us wanting to look other than self and kind because we want to look like God. If God don't look like us, and we broke it down, we said, talking about this last class, we said there's God, man, and who's the other character? Say it, who's the other character? God, man, and
The devil.
the devil, correct. So now, if man is created God in his image and after his likeness, then Adam or the Caucasoid, the red man or if the power man created God in his image and after his likeness, then switched it around and said God created man in his image and after likeness, then that means you got man, you got God, and the other one would be the devil. So you got the white man, you got the yellow man, you got the black man. In whose image and after likeness the black man in, what the sister said, the devil. So that in the mindset of the people now creates race inferiority. And we're now looking outward towards another race and their deities as superior. So that then creates what's referred to as likeness of other than self and kind. Once you get the mind, you get the body. Because wherever the mind goes, the body will follow. What a cool hoax to play on the people. But hear this though. Hear this now. The way to reverse that is to use the same methodology that was used to enforce it. So they changed the 9 to a 6. Now we have to flip the 6 back up to a 9. So we now say we was created in the image and likeness after our deities, or say gods. So they look like us and we look like them. Okay? And that's how the master's done. That's what, to break the spell, that's what he's done. He's using the same methodology that they use to enforce the spell. He's using it to reverse the spell. Like the English language, we say that the English language is the devil's language. So what the master done is, okay then, so I'm going to use the same English language to break the spell and to seal it, give us our own language. Because once we got our own language, then we'll be able to vibrate on the correct tones, frequencies, and vibrations. Okay? So now, when the question is asked, what I do is when I go to work, I was going to read, I was going on Clubhouse here. Curtis Starr, who created God? Curtis Starr, man created God by worshiping other than self. They're all created all, but only man can worship to create. Only man can worship to create a God. Goddess Keturah, God equals government, G, government, O, ordinance, D, division. Or the government, they're the ones who make the rules, and they're the ones who break the rules that they make. That's all over the world, isn't it? Curtis, that our parents are our gods. That's a very good one, Curtis. When you say our parents are our gods, it is correct. But if you can, Curtis Starr, if you can elaborate a bit more on that, say our gods, our parents are our gods, because you're correct, our parents are our gods. But if you can elaborate a bit more on that. While waiting for Curtis Scott to come up, I'd just like to say that, I should have said this in the beginning, but this is another installment of classes based on our mystery systems or the esoteric science of Wu-Sabat. And it's just to get us expanding our consciousness to another level. Okay. So when Curtis says our parents are our gods, our mother teacher put it like this: our mother and our father are our personal creators with the help of the forces of nature, and making the forces of nature our impersonal creators. which is correct, and which are gods. Okay. Okay, Zama, our ancestors going back to the very first is our creator, and we are made in the image of them, 100%. So, Goddess Keturah, God is one who lives by natural law and order. That's correct also. Okay. A question was asked at work, and I said at work, I asked the same questions. Well, what I do when I go to work, I use the guys at work as test subjects. So I asked him this question. Someone said that he was self-created. So if God was self-created, that puts him in creation. So if God was self-created and puts him in creation, then he couldn't be the creation of everything. Is that right or wrong? Or can God be self-created and still be... Oh, let's put another way. If God was self-created, created himself, I'm using the word him with all intent and deliberately. If God created himself, what was there before he created himself? Yeah. So, no, God needs a mother. God created, if God created himself, the question to ask is, these are things that when you go on the street and you're propagating and you meet a religious person and say, do you believe in God? And you say, then you ask the question, so who created God? And they say he created himself. Then you have to ask yourself, if God created himself, what was there before he created himself? What was there before he created himself? Anybody? Come on, brother. And that was a long walk on a short path, but
I was just going to say, now what did he create himself from?
yeah.
Because if he had to create himself from something or a group of things, then who put those things there for him to create himself from those things?
Yeah. And in Stalinism, say that last statement again. You
If
say,
he created himself from a group of things or a thing, then who put those things there for him to use to create himself from?
here it is. Is that a question or the answer to your own
It's
question?
both.
It's your answer because you said who?
Yeah, who?
Who put them things there for him to create himself from?
Exactly. Who did it?
Who did it? Or who he? So when you say who created God, you can say who created God, or who and who he, one of the three creative forces of will. So you see how it's been worded. So, I just want to go to the. Has anyone got any questions on Zoom or Clubhouse or in the chat?
Sure, Zamal.
Go ahead, Colby.
What are the three creative forces of will?
Right, the three creative forces of will. Good question. Are who he? You got Sia and you got Hika. These are the three creative forces of will. I haven't got the black book with me that explains it, goes into depth about that. But these are the three creative forces of will that the master teacher has brought to our attention. Yeah, who he, Sia, and Hika. Now, when we to take it to the next level with who he, you got HUHI, okay? And this being who he is from where they got the word Yahweh from. YHWH. And it's like this. If you or they'll say Yod, Hey, Wow, and Hey in the Hebrew. Now, the Y, let's say YHWH. So now the Y is a I sound, and the W is just that. It's a double U or two U's. So you would get, if you're reading it, okay, so you've got YHWH, and the Y is an I, the H remains a H, the W is a double U, two U's, and you've got the H again, or the Yod, or the Hey. So now you get Ihu. Now, if you read that, Ihu, IHUH, from right to left is how you should be reading, as opposed to left to right in the English, you'll get who, he. So this YHWH, or the Yahweh, you can see where it has its origins from ancient Tamaray, or the ancient Egyptian mystery systems. The source of all learning on this planet, or what was brought to this planet in Africa, and everybody came to suck from the fount or from the wisdom that poured forth from these hierophants, adepts, and initiates, and went to their respective lands and reconstructed it or reconfigured what they'd learned and talked to their people. In some cases, what happened was the masters left Tamare and went to other lands to educate the uneducated. The Greeks came in to Tamare, and what they done is they took the teachings, especially of that supreme grand hierophant, the Huti or Tuhuti, and they molded their own character, what they call Hermes Trismegistus, and they called the sacred wisdom of Tahuti, or what we call the Ha teachings. They called it the 7 Hermetic principles, but we know there are 9 doctrines or principles, as it outlines in sacred wisdom of Tahuti. The 9 principles, they only were taught, only acknowledge 7. Go ahead, Samantha. What is off on that?
Are those principles anything to do with the levels, like the 9 ether, 7 ether type situation?
No, it's got to do with, look at the sacred wisdom, or the 9 principles, the 7 principles. Look at it as an operating system, you see, as how things come into existence by way of all, and how we are the all in all. And last time we broke down in our Panashad, our affirmation, I'm in the divine love of the all expanded. That whole affirmation is the epitome of our existence in all and as a part of all. That, if you want to know where we stand in all as part of the all, is in the after affirmation, Panashad. Sorry to keep it up and down.
So in terms of them taking only the 7 principles, even though there was 9,
Yeah.
is there a reason that they've done that? Is it because they couldn't implement the 9, or is it just that, was it just to cause confusion?
Reading the sacred wisdom is because they didn't know. I mean, so what they done is with the sacred, I never heard the master use the term the Ha teachings of Tahuti, but I never heard that term used outside of the master teacher. So in the sacred wisdom, the master teacher put 9 principles, which ties into our number. But he said that the sacred wisdom is a corrected version of the Kabbalion, you see. Okay. Now, I just want to read the all is all, yeah. I just want to read a few comments from the Clubhouse. Goddess Keturah, Khan Ray Rahubat. This is Akar Ra'a Shafafra Rahubat, myself from Houston, Texas. Goddess Keturah, you are either born through your mother or you are created. The word to create is the same word as to be born or to give birth or to grow. So you will find that, we can talk about this later on, is that the Caucasus, they know a lot. They know a lot. They came into, as I said before, Tamare and got the knowledge. And there's a book, like I said, I do recommend people getting, which is this one here. I said it before, the Master Key System, well worth purchasing, or you could get it on YouTube, or you can listen to the 24 parts. You can listen to all 24 on YouTube. It's good to get the book and listen to it on Clubhouse, so you're using both your visual and auditory senses, and you corroborate that with the sacred wisdom and the many scrolls that the master teacher has put out. Some of the old scrolls I'm reading from is called like the Science of Creation and the Science of Healing. These are very old scrolls, which is really a lot of jewels inside there. So so we're on a journey here, and we're on a journey here, and later on you'll find out that we are indeed gods. We are indeed gods. We are indeed gods in human form, or put another way, people say spiritual beings having a physical, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, or we would say we are Etherians having a physical experience. Okay. We just need to come to that realization of it, because we've forgotten, of what we are as a people, okay, or as a race, okay, and how the key is our mind and our thoughts, which is the master key. And you find that the whole doctrine of Wu-Sabat is based upon the Egyptian mystery systems. Okay. So now I just want to read an excerpt. This is from the Doctrine of Growth and Creation, page 80 from the Sacred Wisdom. Does anybody got any questions thus far?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Terry, Huti, Aken.
Just a follow-up on Kobe's question. You mentioned the three creative force of will.
Yeah.
Just wanted to find out in what state of existence are they?
Etherians.
So do we also have disagreeable Etherians?
So not disagreeable, yeah, these are agreeable Etherians, yeah. I haven't got the if someone's got the black book, I haven't got it with me today. It says it in there. The master teacher says how the deity, or you say the Nadar Pata, these are the three creative forces of will that constantly accompanies Pata, or he uses the word Ray. You realize that when you're reading that excerpt from the black book, I can't remember what page it could be page, I think it's 273. I haven't got it with me. You'll read that and you begin to realize that Pata is also a ray. And remember that there are trillions of rays, because ray just means sun, but not physical sun, but etheric sun. So there are trillions, or another word for sun is stars. So a sun is a star, and the stars are suns, and there are trillions of stars and trillions of rays. The master just has brought to our attention 4 of them. Anun-re, Atum-re, Atun-re, and Amun-re. And each of those rays exhibit different principles. Hello? Okay. And ray itself is an order. In the Sumerian, they would use the term Anu as the heavenly one. But Anu is not the name of that individual. It is the seat that that individual holds. You get that? So when you read into older scrolls from the master and he uses the word Anu, or he may use the word Ilion El, you have to acknowledge that it's just a title. It's not the name of the individual. Because once you know the name of the individual, then you can call upon that individual for your empowerment.
Is it like the difference between calling someone like sister, and instead of calling them sister, you call them the actual sister's name, like Miriam kind of thing?
Yeah.
So instead of saying sis, can you help me with something, you'd say Miriam, can you help me with something? And acknowledging the name would make it more significant.
That's right. That's 100% right. That's it. Yeah. So in Miss Batia, like say we got the 99 deities. I'm using them as an example. Within those 99 names of Panasaro, you are, by way of the tones, frequencies, and vibrations, you are activating those full centers that's within you, that's within each and every one of us. But there's more to it than that. Since you're on that subject, because we teach a lot of information, we give a lot of information in our classes, but you listen carefully, we don't really give practical examples. We give the science, but not the art. So we need the artist application. What can we do to activate those forces within us, apart from chanting? And the secret lies in our breathing and in knowing how to breathe correctly. First of all, the reason why we say the secret lies in our breathing, I get away from the topic, but because the question was asked, I'm going to answer it like this. I want to do this part later on to the class, but hey, that's how it goes. Right. The master, you've got the breath scroll. Yeah, you've got the breath scroll there. I've got the old one. Got the breath scroll. It teaches us about how to breathe correctly, what we call Smay breathing. The first stage of Smay breathing is breathing through the nose and you expand the diaphragm. Then you lift up the chest and you lift up the shoulders and the rib cage. Then you exhale through the mouth. Okay, that's they call it the 3 sections in one, the 3 in 1. However, if you cannot remember all that, the important thing to do is to breathe in through the nose and you tighten the abdominals and your lower back. You're breathing through the nose, and as you're breathing in, you tighten the abdominal region and your lower back. And then you exhale, you hold it for a little while, and you exhale slowly. But as you're exhaling, maintain that tightness around your back, your lower back, and your abs. It feels strained. You maintain that tightness. You breathe in again, and you tighten it even more. The lower abs, or the abdominal region, and the lower back. Make that area tight. Hold it for a few seconds. Then you exhale. The abdominal region is your seat of power, or the sachem, or the area just below, which is the region of the solar plex and below. Okay, that's your seat of power. Now, what the breathing does is what the breathing does is, apart from you breathing in and breathing out, give you life, what the breathing does is, by doing that, it slows down your brainwave frequencies. Because right now, we are operating on the waking state, they call it beta, the beta brainwave frequencies, which is about, roughly, I think it's about 21 cycles per second. And as you breathe in that manner, your brainwave cycles begins to drop down, I think between 14 and 21 cycles. They call it, it drops down to the alpha level. Don't quote me on the figures. It drops down to the alpha level. That alpha level is the state that you begin to drop down as you begin to feel drowsy. You begin to drop down to that alpha level. That alpha level is when you reach that state of alpha level, and even deeper levels, theta, delta, and gamma. When you drop down to the alpha level, you're using, let's say, your secondary set of senses. Your perception heightens. Well, to me, breathing is the best way. Once you do that, once you achieve that state and you're able to feel it, then you start your visualization, your meditation, your concentration exercises. Then you start your chanting, because you are enhancing or you are magnifying the chants. You're magnifying it. It's becoming what they term exponential. Okay. You say something about that?
So do you advise that before we do anything like meditation or doing the chants and stuff like that, that we go through a sequence of breathing? And if that's the case, then how long would you say that we practice the breathing before we go into doing those practices?
Right, very good question. It doesn't take that long. Doesn't take that long, but it doesn't take that long. The more you do it, it's more beneficial. It's beneficial. And remember that you not only call upon the 99 names, do this principle or these techniques, you also call upon your ancestors as well. Now, how long you do it, I won't give a time frame, but you can do it to the point, there comes a point whereby you don't need to do that. You just think of it at the speed of thought, and you're there. Another way of entering the alpha level is by daydreaming, just staring. You're there. But with breathing, it's just you become conscious. You do it with awareness. You're breathing now, breathing with awareness. And by breathing with awareness, now that you become aware, the power becomes heightened. And now you begin activating what they call the sympathetic nervous system with awareness, and cerebral spinal system with all these different systems, nervous systems, activating with awareness, the cranial nerves, activating your senses with awareness. See? And then in these states, is where you can start creating your life. When we say that, what we mean is we are co-creators of our own reality, whether we are cognizant of it or not, whether we are aware of it or not. We are co-creators of our own reality. We now feeding our subconscious mind and our conscious mind with, I was about to say, information, or feed it with information that we want. Now, in Wu-Sabat, we say, sorry, fam, moving away from the subject matter, we can go back there again. In Wu-Sabat, we say, we don't have a belief system. It's either, we say, once you know something, you don't no need to believe it. But here it is, we have to flip that around. we have to have an understanding of the invisible world and how things, what is visible is first invisible. Things start off in the world of darkness and gets birthed into the world of light. That's how it starts. But you cannot see the world of darkness. So you've got to use your powers of imagination and visualize in your mind's eye. Here it is. Your mind's eye. Got to use your mind's eye to visualize what you want from the mental realm. And from the mental realm, you create those thought waves, hold on to those thought waves, visualize those thought waves, and it will materialize by way of those forces, which we call natural ether energy.
What you're saying, that sounds like daydreaming. Is that similar to daydreaming, or is that more conscious than daydreaming?
Right. You know, when you say daydreaming, what you're basically saying is daydream is another form of what do we use? We said daydreaming, daydreaming. Because you dream it during the daytime, but you can do it during the nighttime anytime. But you're 100% correct.
Don't say dreaming is the sister to death. So
Yeah.
normally they say dreaming is the sister to death or sleepers.
That's right.
So
Sleep.
in terms of being in a dead state, you're not in an awake state because you're aware of it, the consciousness is still there.
That's right. That's right. So there are levels of states of existences beyond the physical realm. Okay. And we are use the word dreaming, we are dreaming. That is a real state in itself. You see. And in actuality, when we've gone to sleep and we're dreaming, that is a heightened state of awareness. You see. But we just need to become aware of it, and we can program ourselves before we go to sleep. Okay, that's why it's recommended that they always say that if you want to program yourself, the two best times to do it is when you're about to go to sleep and when you wake up, because that's when you are at your most heightened.
Okay, how would you go about the process of programming yourself before sleep? How does that work?
Do you know, all you do is just speak to yourself what you want. That's it. What it is that, so the reason why I said about the breathing is because the breathing will prepare you for that state. Will put you in that receptive state, then you start programming yourself. If you know Miss Batia, then all the better.
What if you have sleep problems, like sleep apnea?
The sleep problems.
Sleep problem, sleep apnea.
Yeah, what you can.
No, breathing problems. All the sleep apnea.
Breathing problems.
Yeah, breathing. Yeah, breathing problems you got, which causes sleep apnea because you're something you do with the front of the nose.
Yeah.
Cavity, which kind of stops you from breathing properly while you're fast asleep.
Yeah.
So what do you do then? You don't like.
Yeah. Do you know something? That's a very good question. Do you know that as long as you could breathe, it'll get you into that.
Would that mean relating to like a fish out of water?
Yeah. Oh, the fish out of water. Drop
No,
dead,
I'm saying no. What I'm saying is no. Okay, because you know when a fish comes out of water,
yeah,
it's in water to sustain itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get breath or breathing.
Mm.
So not read, it's like on the news the other day, they said flying fish jump out of water to catch air.
Yeah.
To go back in the water.
Mm.
So I'm saying that breath of life,
Mm.
that's a chem that we all breathe in. Would we then need to say that, okay, when sleep apnea happens, that being because obviously we're still reptilians in the water environment, would that mean that to breathing conditions is not right for that being to be here?
No, what it is that you're talking about like an amphibian, or is it
Yeah.
like an amphibian?
Yeah.
Now, see, amphibian has been so engineered to be able to come out on land, absorb X amount of air,
Yeah.
then go underwater and do what it has to do, and periodically come back onto land. But that's just how it's been constructed. See, now somebody who has breathing problems, as long as they are breathing, they can still deploy the same principle, of breath. As long as they got, otherwise they won't be able to have a conversation with you, because they'll be undead. You see, you know what I mean? So there's a lot behind the breath. Right. I want to read an excerpt. We talk about created. Go ahead.
Sorry, see that book if you have.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, this is the old one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is those you can see. This is the old one. I haven't got the new one. Okay,
Okay.
this is the old one here. Okay. Very, very powerful scroll indeed. Okay, so now we've gone back to how they're saying how God was self-created, and people start saying how God was self-created. I was going to read an excerpt from the Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti. Hey, you know what? Since we got my hat here, would you like to do a bit of reading in small time? Come on. Let's read from page 80. There's a matter here. A bit of reading. Take paper rubbish from here. If you read from that excerpt there to there. Okay. Read it nice and slow. Okay, so go ahead.
This doctrine must make you realize that all things that exist on the physical plane were created and or created themselves out of pre-existing matter or energy.
Stop there, please. Now, read again. All things that exist on the physical plane were created and or create themselves out of pre-existing matter or energy. I mean, know that anything that created itself denotes intelligence, does it? Okay. As habits, oh, okay. So, and also, when we say pre-existing matter or energy, what do we mean? Anybody? When we say this doctrine must make you realize that all things that exist. Read again, please, Samantha. And just stop at that point there. Go ahead.
This doctrine must make you realize that all things that exist on the physical plane were created and or created themselves out of pre-existing matter or energy.
Now, what is pre-existing matter or energy? Anybody? Go ahead.
Natural ether energy.
What's that said again?
Natural ether energy.
Natural ether energy. Okay, anybody else? Oh, okay, so pre-existing matter or energy. So you're talking about matter or energy. When we say pre-existing, you're talking about anything that's pre or before matter and before energy. So you're talking about mental energy, correct? That's what you're talking about. When you say pre-existing matter, you're talking about mental. Okay. Continue reading, please.
And the root reality of creation is that the very word in itself merely means to grow. As habits grow, thoughts grow, knowledge grows, illness grows, bacteria grows, the mind grows, but through information channeled from an etheric cord from the mental, the reservoir of intellect, and the source from which the mind is fed intellect.
Right, let's go back and let's break that down. Start again, please, Malta. Anything that
Anything.
oh, sorry, as habits grow.
As habits grow.
Stop there. So when we say as habits, we're talking about behaviors. grow, when we say grow, we talk about accumulate. So as habits or behaviors accumulate, continue.
Thoughts grow.
Stop there. Ideas or opinion grow or accumulate. Go ahead.
Knowledge grows.
Talk about information.
Illness grows.
Sickness.
Bacteria grows.
Well done. Okay, keep on going.
The mind grows. But through information channeled from an etheric cord from the mental, the reservoir of intellect, and the source from which the mind is fed intellect.
Okay. And from the mind, it goes through to the thoughts, and through the thoughts goes in by way of our actions. Okay, continue.
These are realities, substantial realities, material realities. The universe is a phenomenon of life that grew into existence.
Stop. Again, you say grew into existence. That means that it was birthed into existence, you see. So that means that the universe has intelligence, correct? So not just empty space. They say just empty space. When people say, or when people make reference to the universal mind, what they're actually referring to part. Okay, they're making reference to the. But when they say the universe, you can go on a bit later on that. Keep on going. Don't want to lose anybody at the moment. Go ahead.
Nothing in existence can decreate or degrow, or even decline from existing. They are here because they are supposed to be here, by virtue of the fact that they exist and are here. So also the spark that you call the power of God, responsible for creation, grew in the darkness. Thus your God or God concept is also a part of creation and growth, and without that principle or doctrine, your God could not exist. Thus, your God is not merely the creator or a creator, but part of that which is and was created and grew.
Finish off.
These are the master keys that unravel the mystery of existence, as all manifest as the all, thus creation and birth.
Stop there. So when we say the master key, we know what keys are used for. You said it many times. What's the key do?
Lock and unlock doors.
So then once the door is, let's say, so but wait, go ahead.
Can open doors.
Now the door, no, it locks, the system said it locks and unlocks doors. Who opens the door?
Yourself.
That's right. So here, what Baba Yananan is saying here is that the master key, read that excerpt about the master key again, please, Samantha.
These are the master keys that unravel the mystery of existence, as all manifest as the all, thus creation and birth.
Okay, so Samantha. So so now what Baba's saying here is that what we're given here, the master keys that lock and unlock doors, and once the doors are unlocked, it's you that opens the door. When the door is open, there's two things you could do. What are two things you could do with when the door's open?
Okay.
Huh?
You can either look through it or walk through it.
Great, 100% right. That's it. Put right back because she answered the question. 100% right about that. You can either look through the door or you can walk through the door. You know what I mean? And you know that 100% right, Samantha. I'll give you a pat on the back when I see her. Right? So, but when you walk through the door, you know that you come across another door. And then you have the master. By that time, you would have elevated and have another master key, because the master keys, the plural, and you unlock the doors.
But correct me if I'm wrong, usually the concept of a master key is usually a key that opens every door, is it not?
But there are many master keys and there are many doors to unlock. You see, and you know that it's talking figuratively, talking about mental, isn't it? You see, there are many, many doors to unlock. Let's say in this case, from the sacred wisdom, let's say there are 9 doors to unlock. See? So you open up, these are major doors that you're unlocking using the master key. And it's by way of self-realization, or we call it DNA explosion that's taken to another level. And you keep on walking through that door that's now been opened, DNA explosion, and you're going and growing from strength to strength, transforming yourself back into deity, because deity, back into God and goddesses, because it's a mindset, isn't it? You got questions?
Yes. There was a part of that passage that we read that talked about nothing can be decreated, degrow, or devolve.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So what would you call what's happening to humanity, or more specifically to the 9 ether race at the moment? Because it's saying that everything that's happening is supposed to happen.
That's right.
So how would you? No, it's just a thought that ran through my mind when I read it. So what would you call what's happening right now if it's not devolvement, because essentially nothing degrows?
Yeah. So what it is that in terms of us as 9 ether beings, what's happening is there is what we call an evolutionary reverse. So the 9 ether forces, if you look at this smack circle, is pulling us back up. We are now elevating.
So in reality, the way that we should be looking at ourselves is not, oh my gosh, look at where we are, we're not doing what we're supposed to do, but more in a sense of we've gone through a phase that we were supposed to go through, where we've gone through this part of the cycle, and now we're coming back up into the cycle to be back to where we were as gods.
That's right. I like how you said you answered your own question. I like how you said it. We are pulling ourselves back up. I like the word I use, up, because that's the way. That's the direction that we're going back up to that state of divinity. 100% right. Okay. Any questions before we continue?
For those of us,
Go ahead. Is that Jackie?
yeah, those of us who are looking to go back, to return up, but many of us are not. Is there anything that is happening to the rest, that seem to be deep in sleep under the curse of the 6 ether?
Those who are under the spell of 6 ether.
Yeah.
Do you know something? That's a very good question. Everybody has their own alarm clock in which they wake up. Everybody wakes up at different times. Excuse me, let's need to get some power juice. You don't ask me too much questions. Yeah. Excuse me. We all have our own internal alarm clock. And we all wake up at different times. Because how many of us was wide awake before we heard the master teacher? We may have been walking in that direction. I've been that conscious and listening to Malcolm and Farrakhan or whoever, Hebrew Israelite, etc., etc. However, it wasn't until we heard the master's voice that we began to wake up from being under the spell, with all intents and purposes, because we was in a understanding state. We was on our backs, horizontal, asleep with the blanket covers over our head. And then we were sleeping, and we heard the master's voice, which is like an alarm clock going off, and begin to wake up. you know. And remember, the hardest step to take is to get that 1 foot out the bed. When you want to go jogging, when you go, you know, when you go jogging, and the hardest, yeah. Jogging the first, I want to go jogging, but the hardest step is to get that. Once you've got that 1 foot out the bed, you know that you're halfway there. You get this other half of the body there, bam. Then you make your way downstairs or upstairs or whatever. Then you open the door, bam, 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 like Rocky. Somehow.
You say awake, yeah, but what's truly awake?
Truly, when you say truly awake, as a person who's truly awake is when they become aware. As good as the term they use is self-realization. See, now self-realization entails introspection, or the master teacher puts it like this: making that journey inward and outward. But when you're truly awake, is when you have what's referred as self-realization.
So there'd be a total recall effect.
Total recall, you can 100%, because the master just said it like this: Wu-Sabat or wu-nuwaup is more a remembering tool as it is a learning tool. Because all it is that all the information is pre-encoded within our DNA. You see, all it means is that we just got to know how. We just got to know how to make that link to the mental reservoir, and we open that channel to receive that information. Did we just read that just now, page 80 in Sacred Wisdom? We did read that excerpt like this. Yeah, here it is. We read it here, page 80 of the Sacred Wisdom. It's got here. Here it is. As habits grow, thoughts grow, knowledge grows, illness grows, bacteria grows, the mind grows, but through information channeled from an etheric cord from the mental, the reservoir of intellect, and the source from which the mind is fed, intellect. So we receive intellect from the mental reservoir, which is, when we say intellect and intellect, we're talking about that knowledge that is outside of this dimension, you see, coming into us of the etheric cord.
On that note, does that relate to the morphogenic field? In terms of the morphogenic field originating to your ancestors, going back to your DNA and RNA?
Yeah, the morphogenetic field is that field where a species is aligned to that ancestral plane, because each race has their own morphogenetic field. Another example is like this. You see how Usain Bolt hit, was it 9.53 100 meters? Usain Bolt, when he's running, he do a record. You know, because he done it, it's out there in that morphic field, and a Nagaru, female or male, can now match it because it's out there. He's done it. He's set the bar, so it's out there in that field. And you better believe that other races would try to match it, but that is something that's exclusive to Nagaru Nadu. We can tap into that field because it's connected to our race. That morphogenetic field. Yeah. Each race has their own morphogenetic field, but we as 9 ether beings, we have the highest, and we can extract not only that from that morphogenetic field, but from other races as well. That's why when we touch anything, we rule it.
Like the melanin content, and your DNA to the melanin content produced by the pineal gland, the actual height, it's called energy source in the melanin.
Energy source of melanin.
Yeah. It's basically conductor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking a question, but I'm saying, like, is that a part of the source that we get energy from? In the muscle DNA, relates to that?
Do you know, that's a very good question. The thing is that our melanin is just one channel by which we can get energy from. Our whole body is a transceiver, meaning we can receive and transmit energy or information. We have not just one source. The melanin is just one source or one avenue. Our hair is another. Our whole it's about your skin as well. Melanin's got it. Our whole internal organs, eyes, everything. Our whole body is a transceiver. Everything about us is our voice. Everything about us is a transceiver. And you begin to realize that, yeah, I was about to say that our whole, just like when you go to sleep and we're dreaming. When we go to sleep and we're dreaming, we're not seeing by way of our eyes in a dream state. We're seeing by way of our whole body. Our whole body now becomes a sense, not just one channel. So when we're outside of this physical body, that's how the master teacher says there's only one sense, which is really perception. How we perceive things. And not perceive just with your ears or your eyes or your mouth or what we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Our whole body is a perceiver. I just sense something about that dude. I don't know what it is. I just don't like because something about that dude. I just don't like. What was it? No, there's something about that. Because your whole body is the dude's giving off a vibe. You know what I mean? I like that, brother. I mean, it's something about it's something about. I can't put my finger about. Yeah, he's different. There's something talk, isn't it? This man got, the man just crawled up the room. There's something. Man's got dark cloud over him. So yeah.
So could your mentor tapping into the field, what you're talking about, is that anything to do with the Akasha records that we can tap into?
The Akasha records.
Mm.
The Akasha, can we tap into the Akasha records? The master broke that down by saying that the Akasha records is actually our own personal disc. Our own personal disc. You can tap into the Akasha records, but in order for us to do that, you need a spiritual master to show us how to do that. See, what it is that there's only so much we can do as physical beings. To take things to the next level, we need a master teacher. Or the word we use is wu-nuwaup, one who is of the master, as in the master teacher. Plus, we need other things as well, like the barytheric gland. See, that's a very important, a very significant component that is needed for us to access those higher planes.
So the mental reservoir, what you're saying we tap into, what has it got a name, or is it just what are we exactly tapping into mentally?
Yeah, you're talking about higher vibratory frequencies, and there are frequencies upon vibratory frequencies, frequencies upon frequencies upon frequencies, higher vibratory frequencies. And it's within the mental realms, there are beings that exist on these realms that we have yet to be introduced to. Let's say Parnasauru or the Riskians, they are beings that operate on the mental. And the word we use is Etherians. And there are trillions of Etherians, and there are those that do not incarnate. They are pure mental. To tap into the higher beings, that is something that we need to be taught how to do that. But in the meantime, we still can advance quite a way based upon what we have received by way of the master. Okay? We can advance a lot very, very far we can advance by what we've been taught by the master. Okay?
I was concerned about some of us trying to find our way to the master. You know, like I've been awoke since 2017. And I'm thinking, you know, others have, you know, probably similar, where they've been trying to find their way for a while. So, you know, I was with the Hebrew Israelites, another group, and finally I found my way about a year ago, started listening to OSM Vision. So how would you describe me trying to find my way here? Were those other groups obstacles, you know, in the way of me really finding the real truth?
Right. That's a very good question as well, Tab. Now, before you reach the point of where you're at right now, and this goes for all of us, we had to go through certain experiences. That's why we held the planet. We go through certain experiences, but these experiences that we have encountered in our journey through this thing we call life, these are like lessons. The master teacher uses the word revelations. Things, you know, these are lessons that we've learned on our way to reach this point now. Don't negate them. I don't think it's just a waste of time or wasn't necessary. It was necessary for the experiences that we have gone through. Otherwise, we wouldn't experience those experiences. The mere fact that we are here now, and we're reading the doctrine, we have made that connection to the master. The mere fact, we may not, I know many of us have never seen the master, haven't been fortunate enough to see the master, but nonetheless, we have made that connection to the master by mere fact or by mere reason that we are here. It's touched us in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so we all are very, very fortunate. Okay. Hope that helped you, Jackie.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. The more you keep on Wu-Sabat, the more you keep on Wu-Sabat, on the word we use is patarat, the way. The more you keep on the way, the stronger being you will become. Each step that we take whilst on Wu-Sabat is strengthening us. Each step. Now, this is it. We are not going to be on this journey without challenges and opportunities, because both of them are equal. But we are all being challenged to test our durability. Look at the master, spiritual master that he is, galactic master of heaven and earth. That's one heck of a challenge that he's going through. So what makes us think that we've got the exemption certificate? I don't have to go through no challenge, and I'll be able to walk through life when the pearly gates open, bam, when the spaceships come, or what's that one called? 3-Eye Atlas, when it comes, I'll be on the I should say that, should I? So, okay, so anyway,
just going back to the master keys for a second. Would it be right to say that we are the master keys?
That's right.
Because we would have to first unlock, let's say, any one of 9 doors, we would have to shape ourselves into the right type of being to go through or to unlock that door in the first place.
That's right, yeah. We call it mental transmutation. In the sacred wisdom, they refer to it as mental transmutation. It may look the same outwardly, but inside, you're transforming. See, and yes, you're right. We are the master key. Each and every one of us are our own master key. And the thing about it is, only you can unlock your door. People can help you, point you in the right direction. That, oh, I get it. When you say, I get it, that's the door's been unlocked. And you keep on walking, open up the door. As you said before, open up the door. So open door, I think the Sakamtat said, two things you could do: either stay and look through the open door, or you could walk through the open door. You know what I mean? But also, though, there's another direction. You can walk back. Walk out, doors open, you wouldn't need to say, this ain't for me, mate. This is where I get off. And just walk back outside the door. And then live happily ever after. Amen. Okay. What is it about?
Okay, if the door is open, yeah, they've gone around to different levels of thinking. Would it mean that a person's ready with information, or some people aren't ready? Walk back. What's the difference?
Right, yeah. The mere fact that you was able to open that door means you was ready for that information. But there are those amongst us who fell back to sleep and walk back out the door, especially during the master's kidnapping. There's some good teachers back in the days. And the master, because you know that, put it like this, you know that for every school that we've gone through, every transition we make from one school to the next, people has dropped off. And as they drop off, as people go, people come. But the master says in the scroll, the All Expanding, for some people, Wu-Sabat is a destination, and for others, it's a journey. See, so which one is it going to be for you? A destination? I'll get off at this station, and for others, it's a journey, and they'll just keep on walking or keep on going and growing from strength to strength. You see, so and also it's also based upon people's expansion rate. Everybody's expansion rate. When you say expansion rate, between their ability to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually, more spiritually and mentally to grow, and physically. When you say physically, not talking about be like a 9-foot giant, but in stature, mental stature. That's what we're making reference to. And everybody's expansion rate is different.
In terms of spiritual aspects, because some people say spiritual, but some people get the wrong interpretation of spiritual.
Yeah.
So what would be the best interpretation of the word spiritual to realign ourselves back to who we used to be?
Yeah.
Some people might say, in culture, the word culture.
Yeah.
Might say Jesus, chicken, and rice church.
Yeah.
That's culture.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But the interpretation of culture is not that interpretation. You know that?
Yeah.
So therefore, the spirituality, as we know, that true interpretation, as we know, is natural, which means personality.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So therefore, that means that the elevation of the spiritual people, like you said, in us already. Would it mean that people who are spiritual naturally flow in a kind of reservoir? I'm kind of looking forward. I'll say that in terms of actual mental thought or pattern, because some people say spiritual.
Yeah, everybody.
It sounds nice, but what is it exactly?
Yeah, I don't really like to use that word spiritual because it has a religious connotation to it. If I had to use the term, I would say it's that individual or individuals making connection to the divine. The divine is within inside of us. The master said it, I think it's the right knowledge scroll going back years. He said that the greatest of sin is to look for God outside of self, because the divine is within each and every one of us. You see, and not everybody. He said something also is that some people have a natural propensity to gravitate towards the esoteric side or the inner journey of Wu-Sabat, they are more inclined to do chanting and prayer and whatever, spiritual aerobics, as the master teacher puts it, you know what I mean? And the others, they're just not into it. It doesn't mean that the person who's into the chanting and the person who's not makes them any less, it's just what they gravitate to. Not everybody is into exercising, even though we all know that it's good to exercise, but some people are just not into it. You know what I mean? But when they get broke up and, and then they're looking for herb this and herb that. So that's the reality of it. Even though we know that, okay, I'm not into doing CrossFit or whatever, but at least do some walking, you know what I mean? Do something, at least do something for your health, your health benefit. But hear this though, come to you about that. Hear this though. It's the saying, the master teacher says, once you have right knowledge, you can't play. What's he say? I think it's in the what scroll? One of the scrolls there. Natural. Is it natural ether energy? I think it's natural. So natural ether energy. He says the thing. You can't play innocent. That's it. You can't play innocent due to ignorance. I didn't know. Because now that we know, we now become accountable. Is it in here? So now that we know, we cannot claim innocence due to ignorance. And I think I could find it. But anyway, that's what he said. I can't find the actual quote. It could be the other scroll called the proof. It could be in the proof. But I said that we can't play innocent due to ignorance now that we know. That's what he said. Or let's put it like this. The more educated we become, the less excuses we can make. That's what it is. I mean, you can't say, I didn't know. The person who doesn't know, then he's got an excuse. But when we know, oh, may God have mercy on your souls. Okay. Any questions thus far? Oh, Samantha.
What about Zama?
Robert, sorry, is that Peter? Oh, Peter, yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Can you please? I know what's going to happen in 5 years' time, but those who don't know who are on a clubhouse today, can you please explain what's going to happen in 5 years' time, please? Tower Tank.
All right, I want to read an excerpt from the Holy Tablets. This is at the back. Yeah, the master teacher in the back of the Holy Tablets, the master talks about the 7 thunders of the 7 plagues. And this is the 6th thunder. It's very appropriate because we now talk about this 3-eye atlas thing, innit? Wu-nuwaup and the other one. This is what he says here. Remember, this is written in, was it 96? 995? Yeah, this is the Holy Tablets. This is the 6th thunder. The 7th thunder, this is the 6th one. Changes occur. The star people return. What star people are he talking about? Sabians, yeah. That's right. Because what does Sabian mean? Okay, less said, the better. No, the brother just said it. The star people return. Signs in the skies. What signs in the skies is the master talking about? Meteorites. New planets, new galaxies, meteorite storms, climatic alterations, or this global warming, spiritual revivals, presence of divine, disregard and respect for present world governments, leadership, politics. All that's happening right now as we speak, even here in the UK. 7 thunders, end of the world as you know it, year 2030. Now, when the master says end of the world, he's not talking about the planet is going to self-explode. What's he talking about when he says the end of the world? The end of cycle.
It's still in the doctrine
Yeah,
of 64.
that's right. The end of an era. Those who study astrology know that we are in the age of Aquarius. We came out of the age of Pisces, so we're in the age of Aquarius. In Wu-Sabat, what age do we call this? Or what cycle do we call this?
Sun cycle.
Correct, the sun cycle. Okay, but we are in the age of Ptah. I said the Master Jesus supposed to be. We are in the age of Ptah, the opener. Okay, so so there are these. It's not like on January the 1st, 2030, stuff's gonna kick off. You know, like in a football match, you know things is gonna happen, bam. You know, because your man lost the boxing match, people kick off, you know what I mean? No, it's things that is happening right in front of our eyes. Change is happening right in front of our eyes. It's a matter of whether we're gonna align ourselves with those 9 etheric forces or not. So somehow Peter, things are unfolding as we speak. He's saying that by the year 2030, carcasses as we know them, Adamites, they won't be on the planet. Not all white people, because there's a lot of mixing in that has occurred. And the Master says that the carcasses, they know that they've been taught by their overlords that in order for them to be walking on this planet Earth, they have to mix in with the Nagaru. Really, it's talking about the Caucasus females have to mix in with the black male. Because the Caucasus males, life is perpetuated by the female of all races. You see, not by the male. Because it's the females that give birth, not the male. You see, so for the male Caucasus, they would die off rapidly. The Caucasus female, in order for her to walk the planet Earth, she's got to mix in with the Nagaru. So she elevates to a 9 ether in Caucasus flesh.
I was just doing Clubhouse, a class early this afternoon. Basically, they were saying on there, the mitochondrial DNA coming from the black woman has more, obviously got the powerhouse. In terms of that scenario, they said basically on that, the black man mixes with the Caucasian woman, even though the woman has the mitochondria, not what as a black woman.
That's right.
So therefore, when they mix in, the DNA kind of like what's called dilutes itself. So therefore, when it's mixed in, your powerhouse, I mean, obviously, Malato has been born and stuff. So therefore, they said that's why Doc was saying go back to Africa, mix in with that DNA, because there's the half souls, the West, and the pure souls of Africa would have to then basically mix in together to be that new race or that new. In saying that now, all this mixing and DNA and the COVID thing have the extraterrestrials got another plan to like come bring another disease to therefore mix up of scenario going on.
As in, you say the extraterrestrials, talking about our.
Yeah.
The Master said it like this. Is it back in there? Energy, where he says, see if I can find it. Let's put it. He says how when a couple, a Caucasus female and a Garu male, have a child, that child that can either gravitate towards the Negroid side of them of that's DNA or the Caucasus side. Now, if they gravitate towards the Negroid side, they can be spared, for lack of a better word.
So in terms of the mitochondrial DNA, the DNA will basically use example mixed in with that, that's why they came in through the actual mitochondrial DNA.
Yeah.
Because you know the 18 plus mitochondrial phase of that book, it talks about star, because basically that's how they express or manifest through this mitochondrial DNA, because basically the mitochondrial DNA, because with the 37 chromosomes of DNA in the mitochondria would be the access point coming through the woman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So basically I'm saying when they incarnate through the woman because that mitochondrial DNA is there.
That's right.
And that, as you know, it's called a wolf thread.
Okay, that's right, mitochondria.
Yeah, so in terms of that effect. Yeah, so.
Okay, so and also don't again, let's make it simple, is that the record is transferred from female to female, from mother to daughter, never from the male. So when you said this many times, the sperm of a male has cellular DNA and mitochondrial DNA, but the mitochondrial DNA is in the tail, not in the head of the sperm. So when the sperm fertilizes the egg, the tail drops off or disintegrates. So only the cellular DNA or the nuclear DNA enters into the female egg. How we know that is because you may have a female, a daughter, and she goes, the daughter looks just like the dad. That's your dad. No mistaking that. Or they say to dad, that's that daughter, that's yours. No mistaking that. You know, so so you got that. But as the brother, as I said, is that the mitochondria is the powerhouse that gives the cell its vibrancy. Because if that is compromised, if the mitochondria is compromised, the cell starts to degenerate. And as his brother said before, it's only transferable from female to female, or the record is kept from female to female. And what about if as you said before, if the mother gives birth to a son, well, the son also inherits the mitochondria as well, but that's coming again from the female, correct? Everyone get that? Go ahead, so.
I've got a question. My question is, would you be able to give me some daily exercise to practice psychic self-defense, please?
Was that Vedic? Did you say Vedic?
Psychic.
I thought we said Vedic. I'm about to say, get to
psychic self-defense. I would like to strengthen my psychic self-defense. So I just was wondering if there's a scroll you could lead me to, or some daily practices I could use.
Yeah, you know, the first thing that comes to my mind is the breathing. We were talking about this earlier on. The breathing. Again, if you missed it, I said that what we do when we're breathing in, breathing through the nose, and what we do earlier on, if you repeat it for those who missed it, when you're breathing in, you push your stomach or abdominals out, but you tighten your abdominals and you tighten your lower back. Breathing through the nose, you tighten that area as you breathe in. Tighten it, keep it tight. Hold it for a few seconds, then you breathe out. And as you're breathing out, you maintain that tightness around. Now, as you could take 4 breaths in, so you breathe in, you tighten this area. The count of 4, hold it for the count of 2. You breathe out for the count of 6. As long as you keep this area tight, this abdominal, your lower back, you could breathe for ages like that. You could increase the amount of breaths you take in. You could hold the breath for longer and you can breathe out for longer. But as long as you maintain that tightness, doesn't take 3 or 4 days, as long as you maintain that tightness, you're about to do more and more and more. Now, that's just the breathing. And we said everyone that as you're breathing in, you are, what do you say? You're lowering your brainwave frequency. But apart from that, you are strengthening your auratic shell, your aura. People different names for it. Let's say aura, okay? You're strengthening your aura. Now, and the mere fact of doing that, and you are aware that you're strengthening your aura, we have, in our aura, we have holes there, perforations, due to the electromagnetic field that's in the radio waves, etc., etc. It's got like holes like a sieve. And the more you do that type of breathing, it starts to reconnect itself, starts to repair itself. Now, you're now conscious of it. To heighten that awareness, to incorporate some visualization, as you're breathing in using that manner, from the nose, breathe the stomach out, as you're doing that, imagine the green light is coming in. Because you know that's a powerful healing light. Imagine the green light's coming in, all engulfing the body. You hold it. And so as you're breathing out, imagine that the green light is emanating out of the body. And as you hold the breath, it's stabilized. As you breathe in, it's coming in. So you're breathing in, it's coming in. You hold the breath, it's stabilizing itself. You breathe out, it's emanating out of the body. This is just a little exercise. There are many, many different exercises that you can do, but that's a very, very good exercise to do.
Oh, Takzama. I know you referred to the green light. I know the green light when in the Holy Tablet days was coming from, is it Melchizedek, or is that, am I correct?
That's right, yeah.
So where would the green light be coming from now?
Oh, the same guy.
Would it be Yanun or is it Melchizedek? Yeah.
Remember, right? When you say Melchizedek, that's just the religious terminology.
Yes.
You know, and in Tamil, that would be Yanun, or that would be or Zahutwi. Yeah. Okay. Or beings of that order, beings of the green light. You see.
Sure.
That's right. Yeah.
Tower Takzama.
Okay. You're welcome, Sabat. Right, yeah. Green is for your different green it says the guy said root Kaya. It also cleans your chakras. The green is for your heart, white is the crown, golden light. Okay. There's a lot in colors, there's a lot in breath. Yeah. Right. Any more questions before we continue? No more questions. So you continue? You want to say something about that? Someone pointing to you. Everyone, yeah.
Question. Yeah, so I wanted to talk a bit more about that transformation thing. I wanted kind of like, I guess it's like a question. I kind of want your advice in reference to how you would go about your transformation journey, in the sense of with every journey you go into, you're always going to face obstacles and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's nice, the idea of saying like just go for it, but like if an obstacle is in your way, like reality speaking, obstacles in your way, if you just go for it, you crash.
Yeah.
Right. So some people will take a U-turn and go the other way and be like, okay, I'll deal with this later. Some people will figure out on the spot how to maneuver around that obstacle. Some people will just stop where they are and be like, I'm not going to crash. I'm just going to stop where I am. Because I find that in life, whenever you're about to do something, it's almost like the universe, the world, everything around you starts to test, are you really sure that you're going to do it? So it's like you're about to do something and then everything goes wrong at once. Also, how do we go about that, in the sense of, are we supposed to continue to express gratitude for that situation? Or is it okay to turn around to the ancestors in the universe and go, do you know what? I understand that I did ask for the transformation, but this is very much overwhelming in me right now, especially because we spoke about before that if the door is open, it means that we were ready to receive that information.
That's right.
So how would we go about that? What's your perspective of that, going through that journey? What would you do?
Yeah, right. Very good question. Do you know that we all experience challenges and opportunities, both are equally balanced. And as we are traveling on our journey towards elevation, we would encounter challenges. These challenges is really to the word fortify or to strengthen our being, and also to see what are we going to do in this situation. Now, that is what it's about. What are we going to do when we come across a challenge? The thing is to face up to the challenge and overcome or override that challenge. That will take you to the next level. Now, you cannot walk away from that challenge. Oh, sorry. You cannot walk away from that challenge. I use the word challenge, like that word. You cannot walk away from that challenge and expect to go to the next level. It doesn't work like that. We have to find a way to overcome that challenge, even if it means talking to an associate or a confidant. You know, I'm experiencing that, and they may be able to give you they'll say to you, give some advice. For example, let's say you're at work, the boss is giving you grief, but you don't know why is the boss on my case. And someone says to you, you know what? If you can't talk to the supervisor, go to the top boss. Go to the top boss. And the top boss now says, right, go to the supervisor who's giving you grief, or go to the individual who's giving you grief. But the thing about it is that you made that step. You said, right, I tried to talk to the individual, to say the supervisor, he's not hearing it. Let me go to the next one up, to the boss. The boss ain't taking it. We got higher to HR. You know, let's say go through the hierarchy. Let's say there's a successful outcome, right? You're just elevated. The mere fact that you did something about it, you just elevated to take yourself to the next level. I didn't give that as an example. Now, let's say that same supervisor gives you grief. You now, you may not be aware of it, you now have got strength over that individual, and you will talk to them direct. And they don't, no, you know what? In actual fact, they may not even do that anymore. The mere fact that I talk from experience, that they will change towards you how they act towards you. So we will always encounter challenges and opportunities. And for every time you move up to the next level, you will encounter challenges. You will also encounter opportunities. That everything is balanced. But it's to test your strength inside of you, because that challenge is what you may need tomorrow. I say tomorrow like in the future. You may need that challenge. You may encounter that type of challenge tomorrow. And you may need to reflect on the past experience and how you dealt with that challenge, and you overcome it to overcome this challenge. But here it is. No longer becomes a challenge in you. It's like a walk in the park. Deal with it, bam, 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 bam. But now you encounter another challenge. But this is to help you grow. Challenges are there to help us grow. You see, as a matter of what are we going to do to overcome that challenge? You see, you know, it's like you say you're a mother or a father and you talk to your child about doing this and do this, don't do that. The mere fact that you told them, they cannot say later in life, I wish my mother and or father told me. What they can say is, I wish I listened. I mean, but again, you may tell your child, do this, do that, and they don't listen, but that's their experience. Sometimes you have to allow the child to go through the experience. You know what I mean? That's their experience. So, did that help, Samantha? So now you know what to do in the master language. You know what the master. This is what the master said. This is what the master said. The best way to deal with it is to deal with it. That's it. It's, it happens to me at work. But you know what? To strengthen yourself, you've got to deal with it there and then. Do not allow 24 hours to pass. Deal with it as it happens. Deal with it. Don't go home and say, oh, I didn't like that guy. This sister and work, and you go to sleep. You're sleeping, blah blah blah. No, deal with it there and then. So you go to sleep. You have a nice, peaceful sleep after you join into your ancestors. Deal with it there and then. Oh, yeah, who created God? Yeah, see, these people need to be straight. It's all you lot.
So, in terms of Qatar,
yeah,
having that open, Qatar means open, open up. What would be in fact that, and why is it named Qatar in terms of something else?
What you see, these are attributes as opposed to names. These are attributes that we can call upon, because remember, Pata, there's Patatun, there's different attributes of Pata. These are attributes that we can call upon to help influence us in our lives. You see?
Saying that now, would that be different because you got different tribes in Africa?
Yeah.
All right. So what tribe would that be under? Because you got the Danique in ancient Egypt.
You got the
Danique.
Danique, okay.
Yeah, which basically that's the sport. Bess.
Bess, okay.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? People say that. So Bess was another kind of like a 4 foot or
dwarf.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
Where they get the known from.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm saying that in terms of actual processes of calling these beings back, still have obviously chanting helps, depending on the tone frequency. So would it be that the frequency level that we're on is pretty low considering, because in the West, we're in a natural environment.
Yeah.
So I'm saying back in the day, or Africa, Tonga was really different. So learn this language and the processes of the spirituality. Would that mean then our voices could be heard on a different realm?
Yes, it can. Our voice can be heard interdimensionally because our whole body is a tuning fork. That's why the master teacher has given us our own language. Now, here it is. The mere fact that we are chanting, the mere fact that we are chanting, or even chanting, the mere fact that we are chanting, we are altering the atmosphere that we hear in the UK or wherever we are altering the atmosphere. And the more of us, the word is synergy, when two or more forces combined to produce an outcome greater than if done individually. The two or more of us chanting, even like Om, nobody knows Om. It's just the two or more of us just chanting that, because of our the master teacher puts it how our as Nagadan, that Negroids, our body vibrates on a different frequency than all other races. Each race's body tone is different. For us, it's FAC, correct?
Yeah.
Now, on that note, so with all of us chanting, we will change the atmosphere or the tones, frequencies, and vibration of the atmosphere that we're under, so that those energetic forces will work through us, in us, and around us to our advantage. You see?
So just like, so to go to the topic slightly, it's like in what's it called, Star Wars, when they used the midichlorians in the blood.
I don't know about that movie. I don't know about that movie. Okay.
They call it midichlorians, we call it ether.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the word they used it. So therefore, in that blood, or midichlorians or ether in your blood, that kind of had, what's it called, attracts the energy as well.
That's right.
Ether energy. Of the, basically,
yeah.
On that level, that transference,
yeah.
in the morphogenic field, will kind of enhance us on this realm.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah. So that's it. The book. Oh, my favorite book as well. Oh, things very nice. So actually, number 18. Tone, sound, DNA, molecules, vibrational frequency, tone, frequencies, and vibration. One of my favorite scrolls. The master teacher explains it so succinctly. Let me just find a quote. Okay, to hear what you read up here. Well, this is from page 7, verse 32, and it reads, you'd like to come and read some more? So sorry to, you just have to be there. I'll tell you what I want you to read. Okay, if you read from verse 32 to something now. Okay, from verse 32 to 41, please. Yeah, that's like the right piece of yeah. Okay. Read nice as well, because I may have to stop here. Go ahead.
So, just as radio waves carry information provided by the sender, also the waves transferring energy to you carry any and all kinds of information to information which is you. You are receiving them at all times. It's just that you're on the wrong station or frequency and can't see or hear them speaking and incarnating for you.
Stop there. Can you read 32 again, please?
So just as radio waves carry information provided by the sender, also the waves transferring energy to you carrying any and all kinds of information to information which is you.
Right, so that's like how you listen to a radio, you can hear what's being transmitted. We are also receiving information to us all the time. Continue.
You are receiving them at all times.
There you go.
It's just that you're on the wrong station or frequency and can't see or hear them speaking and incarnating for you.
Stop there, please. So now, we're out of tune with ourselves. Once we become in tune with ourselves, what do you say there? What happened? We'll be able to. You can't what?
can't see or hear them speaking and incarnating for you.
So once we align ourselves, they will incarnate. Okay, go ahead.
Like a radio or TV, it's off if you are not in tone with your own station, broadcasting signals that you are built to receive,
Hear that?
born to
Right.
receive from your own ancestors. That is, if you accept others' cultures, religions, way of life, if you carry their names, titles, accept their ancestors' spirit forces called deities, gods, prophets, Messiah, Mahdis, and so on. When you speak in their tones, it's like the radio is not tuned on to your own station, so you only receive their spirit forces, who will not help you in any way, yet they will use you to feel.
So these spirit forces that is not in conformity or not compatible to our own biology, they're not there for our benefit or upliftment. Go ahead, Samantha.
You must be in tune with your own bloodline, back to the ancient who vibrate as you on the same station, broadcasting to you for you. Why you see hands at the end of Atunre sun rays.
I think we'll quickly show this. Show this for the audience there. Can you see that? It has an atom ray. It's an energy. That's, hand off the key of life. Go ahead.
And of course, your own energy waves carry information into you as information that's of par Nazduru and the universe and nature. These waves impart this wu-nuwaupu information genetically and psychologically into you.
So what it's saying here is that what's the Master Chief saying as well, Walter? What's the Master Chief saying when he says this is information?
That of part Nazduru and the universe and nature.
The next one, yeah.
These waves impart this wu-nuwaupu information genetically and psychologically into you.
So it's affecting our
genetics, genes,
and also affecting our
mental mind.
Correct. Okay.
You must become balanced, genetically linked to your own genes, not other races, but with your own resonance frequencies of your own Egyptian, African ancestors, linked to the universe and beyond. And then and only then will you be able to understand the information you are receiving, if not at a conscious level. What you eat, wear as color, things you alter on your body, who you exchange body fluids with, kiss, sweat with, sing with, or along with. All these can move the dial, and like the dial on a radio or channel on TV, the slightest shift and you get white noise off your own station. So you cannot hear nor see the Etherians.
Obviously, there comes a point during your elevation that they will incarnate your ancestors, etc., etc. Okay, next level.
The super conscious level is where you find Ha-Kau, the oversoul.
And so the oversouls are a group of beings, not just a conglomeration of beings. You got your soul is linked to the oversouls. Go ahead.
The seat of wu-nuwaupu out in the very universe itself, linked to nature here, and you have become a part of nature. The universal bank of wu-nuwaupu that is alive and growing and expanding all the time and in every conceivable dimension called mental.
So the doctrine of wu-nuwaupu or Wu-Sabat is alive. Okay, that's what he's saying. Basically, it's alive. Okay.
This whole system, the Earth and its electromagnetic sphere, the universe and its dynamic energy, and you all interplay in a harmony of operation proportions. The cyclic nature of the universe as a whole, as already has been shown on numerous occasions to affect all living species. All are in tune with some frequency, not all the same. Partainim ki, the Tamahu, Online Bible Hebrew Strongs, number 8568-69, number 8577, Tanni, or Tanyim, meaning beast or dragon, are affected by 11 one-year cycles. You see Isfut upsurge in them and disharmony, always following closely the solar flares of Pali, the sun, which reflects some light to Pa-Ah, the moon. It's linked to the electoral part of humans of all races. To each its own, linked to their nervous system, why each has their own music and movement, linked to the network of nerves that send signals to and from the brain, and it is the brain that is cognitive functional part of the body. It is the brain that accesses the conscious, the subconscious, and even goes on to create the unconscious.
Stop there. So you've got 3 states of mind. You've got the conscious, the subconscious, sorry, the 4 states. You've got the conscious, subconscious, the 4 states, subconscious. You've got the superconscious. You've got those that are unconscious. Superconscious takes you to a whole new level, etc. Go ahead.
You become what you think you are and or believe you are. What you put in your body, why they advertise drinking lots of etheric alcohol to untune you, or mixing of body fluids with anyone to untune you to your powers. That is not good if you think outside your own genes.
Okay, so yeah, I hope that's self-explanatory to everybody. So stay with black, you can't go wrong. Yeah, after all that, stay with black, you can't go wrong. Always bet on black. Yeah, sit down, brother. You know that, yeah. Okay, yeah, you got to move in. Is it snakes, whatever it is? No, 57. That's it, yeah. What's bet on black, yeah. Right.
Aaliyah Sky's got a hand.
Oh, Aaliyah Sky, she wants to Aaliyah Sky, go ahead.
Robert.
Well done.
So my question is, being that every thought and emotional response is a frequency, how are frequencies defined or measured for every thought, non-emotional response? Yeah. And how can telepathic thought or communication be measured? What this is, this is actually like pertaining to one of the courses that I'm on for at the DS4S online, online. And so the presenter on the video, he's saying that every thought and emotional response is a frequency. And so my question is, how are frequencies defined or measured for every thought that's non-emotional, for like a non-emotional response, because he's speaking about emotional responses and thoughts and non-emotional responses and thoughts, and then measuring that. So I'm just actually wondering how one measures non-emotional thoughts and responses.
Okay, is this coming from the master or somebody else? This coming from the master.
This is on the disruptive solutions for success online in the chat.
Right.
Yeah.
Up to, let me address that if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Sama.
Rahubat Zamalta, alias.
Rahubat.
What do you understand the word motion to mean?
Okay, so there's motion and then there's emotion. So motion to me is something, how can I put it? I don't know how to put it, but it's like an action of something that's going into emotion. So
The motion means to move.
Toa.
So everything moves because everything oscillates. That's what vibration is.
Toa.
So there's no such thing as when you were quoting the person saying that no motion, because motion means to move.
Toa.
Now, the energy, that's now adding that energy once it's in motion, so you can have energy. It will appear to be still, but it's actually moving because everything moves. But it's the level of movement when you say that energy is now in motion. That's why you can have a thought and not react or act on it. Or even though it has an oscillation or a movement that can affect you because it's energy. But energy can be channeled, it can be received, it can be transmuted. So it's all about when you receive that thought in a form of energy, is what you do with it. Some people will allow that to affect them because the way they then respond to that energy, they can respond to it in a positive or in a negative way, or they can absorb it and transform it and do something with it. That doing something with it can be they can send it to someone else, or they can utilize it for another form. So this is why energy can be trapped, or it can be manipulated, or it can be channeled.
Could this not also be relating to something like emotional beings and non-emotional beings? And then obviously, well, how are we defining who's emotional and who's non-emotional? Well, I was thinking at it from that aspect of things to, well, you have an emotional being that perhaps is expressive in thoughts and responses, and then you have another being that is less emotional in terms of expressing that emotion, or yeah.
What I'm saying, that everyone can receive that, but the way you choose to react or respond to it will determine whether you're like two people can get the same experience and one will react in a particular way and another one may just be still and not react to it because they're able to, contain that energy or do something with it without actually overreacting. This is why, when you look at male and females, you're often told that women generally would react more emotionally than, say, male. Their feelings are heightened. They're more in tune. They get they can read more into something than like male will just look at it like logically, but those will look at it from like the nine level, as the having that full matrix. So they will look at it from all different angles and then sometimes overreact or overthink it because they're creative more than logical. Not saying they're not logical, but they're more creative, and men are also creative, but they're more logical. Like we look at things like how it is what it is. And but women would look at it from many different dimensions or the different angles. So it's literally just saying how you respond to a thought or to a situation or to any messages that you receive.
Okay. Telepathic thought or communication. Is it possible though to measure telepathic thought?
It's possible to measure thoughts. That is, a thought is a thought, whether it's telepathic or not, because thoughts have, like I said, they have movement, they have a frequency, they have a vibration, they have a color. So yeah, is once you're able to capture it, you can measure it, and you
Okay.
by the magnitude of how it affects people, because people, you heard a problem, reaction, solution. This is
So,
this is how they will, they will put something like in place, watch to see how people react, the magnitude of that reaction, then they will implement a solution. Now, if they don't get any reaction, then they will go back and revise and then try something again to see how many people react. And it's a continuous thing. But yeah, so it's really down. That's why the individual, by way of your mind, as Atui was saying, you have to constantly be able to look at, okay, I'm receiving this thought, whether it's telepathic or not, because you could just be walking down the street and pick up people's thoughts. When you say telepathic, it's actually something that is intentional. So two people are able to open a communication channel to communicate telepathically. Where you can be walking down the street and pick up thoughts from anybody randomly or from anywhere. Now, if your mind is not aware of what you're doing, then it will affect you in a way you might just start reacting and not realizing that it's the effect of that thought that you've picked up.
Okay. All right. Okay. My second question is actually pertaining to a similar thing on the course, right? So
Samantha, do you want to
I was going to say that, yeah, let's not, the course is kind of a
No, it's actually a question relating to us having two souls and two spirits. I just wanted to know if I could get a bit more of an elaboration.
Sure, I'll have to can take that.
Yeah, two souls and two spirits.
Tua.
Yeah. Do you know the two words for soul and spirit in Mispatia?
A soul, ba, and spirit, ka.
And there's another one. So we got the ruach, yeah, which is soul, which is the breath. And we got the ba'a, which is the emotional part. Okay. That both of them are soul. But then you got spirit, you got the nafash, and you got the ka'a, which is the exoplasmic you. The nafash is the personality. So did you get that?
Sure.
Okay, so we say soul, you got two souls and two spirits. You have to step outside of the English and go into the Mispatia, and you'll be able to see the differentiation.
Okay.
Again, you've got the Rawu or the Raruch, which is the breath in terms of soul, and you also got the Ba'a, which is the emotional aspect.
Okay.
Any more questions before we continue?
Yeah, Zamal, I got a question, Zamal.
Go ahead.
This has to do with our mind and thoughts. I was gonna ask, is our etheric form the observer of our thoughts when we are observing our mind? Who's doing that observing? Is it our etheric form?
Who's the observer? A very, very good question. It would be because we got the conscious and we got the subconscious. The subconscious, the subconscious is the subconscious mind is the inactive state and the conscious mind is the active state. So the subconscious only does what only moves, it's only activated by way of our conscious mind. So in terms of the observer, it would be the subconscious mind. And in terms of the activator, it would be the conscious mind. You see? Now, when if I don't know, do you know about the double slit experiment in quantum physics?
No.
Yeah. What science is about quantum physicists, what they have found out is that once a thing is observed, its form changes. So the more we, how do I put it? So prior to us, that's why we should do a lot of visualization exercises, because once we start to observe a thing, I'm gonna quickly go back. We have, they call it multiple possibilities or potentials or outcomes that's available to us. So meaning there are many different routes or different paths we can take in our lives.
Right.
And once we become aware, we then home in onto one specific path. We now say, okay, I'll take this path. We take this path, and by way of our conscious mind to our subconscious mind, we then take the appropriate action. So if there's an observer, which would be the subconscious mind, which is in an inactive state, and the conscious mind is the active state. So the conscious mind will send what it sees, observes, to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind will then act accordingly. So it's a very good question. So when you say what is the observer, it would be our conscious mind, our aware mind. Okay?
Tua.
You're welcome. To help, let me say this, to help people in their studies, because the master teacher always says, don't believe me, check it out. And there are certain YouTube channels I really do recommend. The first one, as I said before, is that it's called the Master Key System. You haven't heard that one. You go on YouTube, go on the Master Key System, tap in Master Key System. There's 24 parts to it. There's also a book you can buy by the same title, the Master Key System. It's good to get the book and listen to the YouTube, because you are now using your visual and auditory as you're reading the book and listening to the audio. And that book was written in 1912 by a guy called Charles F. Hannell. And that book is basically talking about the Egyptian mystery systems. And when you read that book, it's like you're reading one of the Master Teacher's scrolls, because that's the source of all information. So in there, it talks about basically the sacred wisdom, of what we call the Ha teachings, the Ha teachings of Tahuti. So that's one book or YouTube thing that's recommended. Another one is, if I can find it here, another one is, I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Neville Goddard. That's another interesting thing. This guy called Neville Goddard, there's two of them, one called Neville Goddard, another guy called Joseph Murphy. They were taught by a guy called Abdullah, who's a mystic from Ethiopia. And this is in 1922. They were taught certain information, and you listen to that, you could tell that is come from the Egyptian mystery systems. This is going, what's 100 years ago? This is how far back. This is the information that they are taught. Now, what they've done is, people done later on in life, basically like in 2020 up to 2025, they all studied the Jupiter mystery system. And what they've done is they flipped it over and they reversed it and used that same methodology to elevate the people, the hearts, minds, and bodies of the people, and use that to keep people oppressed, suppressed, and repressed. We are now in a day and time whereby we're flipping the 6 back up to 9. So these are little references that you can use to help you in your studies.
What was that second book called, Zamal?
The Master Key System. Oh, the other one was a guy called this one called it's called Abdullah. If you go on YouTube and type in Abdullah and Neville Goddard, it will come up.
Abdullah and
Neville Goddard.
Could you spell that a second? Neville
Nevilli, Goddard, Goddard, Neville Goddard. And that is a very interesting story when you hear about this guy in Abdullah. Very, very interesting. When you listen to it, you realize that this guy is a mystic. Very, very interesting.
I'm gonna read it. The reason I asked that question is because I got finished with reading the mind. So and I started observing my thoughts a lot, and it has changed. I caught myself, just thinking about or observing the thoughts that's unnecessary. And I'll ask those thoughts like, why are you thinking like that? Why did those thoughts come up? And I could see my thought kind of like scooting away or hiding like a kid that got caught stealing candy or something. So and so that's where that question came from, like who's the observer of that. So I just needed an answer to that, but thank you for that.
Hey, that's a very good practice there. Another practice to do is to say to yourself, 2 things you could do. We mentioned about the breathing.
Yes, I started that book, the breath book.
The breath book, yeah. And even the first exercise is Samay breathing. That alone will take you far. That one exercise, the Samay breathing, for those of you who don't know it, with the Samay breathing, you breathe in through the nose, you push your abdominal stomach out. You breathe in through the nose, push your stomach out. You breathe in again, and you pushing the chest out. You're breathing again, you're pushing your rib cage out, and your shoulder blades back. Then as you exhale, you're lowering the shoulder blades, relaxing the chest, and relaxing the abs. I do recommend that when you breathe in through the nose, is to, as you said earlier on, tighten the abdominal region and your lower back, and keep that tight. As you're breathing in, you're holding the breath, and you're breathing out. You could do this sitting down. You could do it when you're walking. The more you do it, what you're doing is you now become, hear this word, the conscious observer of your thoughts. And your thoughts don't like to be observed.
True.
If you can hold, another exercise, that's one exercise. Another exercise is you could do this when you're walking the street, whatever, anywhere. Say to yourself, what am I thinking next? What will happen is your thoughts will stop. When I say stop, I mean, we've got an internal dialogue in our head, an internal voice. It will cease. But what happens is the mind is such that the master says it in the mind scroll that the mind does not like to be observed. And if you could hold it for about 30 seconds, you're on your way. What the breathing does now, because you're focusing on your breathing, you're also harnessing your thought patterns. You'll find that it's when you're agitated that you can hear, or say somebody agitates you on your day, you can hear that inner voice going, but it takes time for that inner voice to subside. So it's what you're doing when you start observing, once you become the conscious observer of your thoughts, you now taking what they call, it's called introspection. You're now looking at yourself from the outside in and inside out. And you're now becoming, once you're able to harness that ability, you now could start co-creating your own reality. See? Because our reality is created by way of our thoughts and by way of our visualization and imagination. Because when you use the word visualization, you hear the word visual, which is your eyes. When you say imagination, you talk about images in your mind's eye. See? So these are very, very good practices. And that's a very, very good question you pointed out there, Zamal, which is the observer, which is the conscious mind, and the subconscious, which is the active part of the mind, and the subconscious is the inactive or is in an inner state. So you program the subconscious by way of the conscious. And whatever you program the subconscious with, it will create the environment for those favorable conditions to work to your advantage. And scientifically, they call it synchronicity or alignment with those divine forces that's within you, around you, and through you. Okay.
Well, that Zamal, just wanted to let you know there are lots of questions in the chat.
Go ahead.
Address those, and then just wanted to touch on what you said quickly in regards to your counterpart, your etheric counterpart, who also observes. Tawa.
Okay. On the part some of the questions here as well, so that can't really see the questions here on Zoom.
All right, let me see if I can read some of them. This may be from a while ago, but why does the all wants to create other gods? Might this create a confusion if we praise one god over another or believe in one more than others? As we see this creates conflict and war. Why would this all want other gods for this? And that's from Emiljan.
Right, that's a good question. And as it happens, I'm talking to one of the guys at work, and he said the same thing. He said, "Is there one God, or is there one all? Is there one all? Yes or no? There's one all." So if there is one all, remember that when you say one, you're talking about a very good question. When you say one, there are what we call parts of one, because you have 1% of one, 2% of one, right up to 99% of one. And in order for one to be complete, you need two, because 1% of two, because you got 99% of one, correct? You got 1% of one, 2% of one. Once you hit 99%, you need 1% of two to make one complete. You get that? You need 1% of two to make one, which is whole. So is all or the all one? It's not. Like we have one universe. Is the universe one or more? More. After we got one universe, we have a dualverse, triverse, we then have multiverses. We then have the omniverse. So all, although all is not one, it's omni. It is all. You see? That's how so when we say omni, we're talking about all space, all matter, and all time. Absolute, infinite, and eternal in all directions. Absolute, says last time, absolute totality, infinite, boundless, eternal, timeless. So the answer to that question is omni. So all, part, is not one. Is omni. Okay.
Tourism art. Let me go to the next one. This is from the same person. Does knowledge of pre-existing matter or energy allow us to create from them all things or any of things?
That's right. That's 100% right. Once you have the know-how, you're able to create. Remember, in that word create, you're able to give birth or grow from pre-existing matter and or energy. And remember, when we use the word, or when Panababi and Nanan use the word pre-existing, it's talking about in a mental state or condition. That means then that it exists in a state of pre-existence or mental, and from mental, it comes into existence as physical.
I don't even think this person is online, so I might just move on to someone else who's still here.
Okay.
So Donzo, is Donzo still online? Donzo asked the question, thank you for the powerful work you're doing. It's truly life-changing. Before discovering your work, I began breath work on my own. Later, I tried psychedelics once and was guided to breathe deeply during the experience. That opened me to intense state and I never felt before. Now, with clear intentions and breath work alone, I can reach similar states without substances. I'm cautious because my first experience came through psychedelics, and I understand from Brother Saken's teachings that these can expose you to unwanted energies if misused. I've slowed down and plan to seek guidance at the store in person when I return to the UK next month. In the meantime, would you still recommend continuing breathwork as you've taught? It feels safe and transformative, and I want to stay aligned with the teachings.
I would definitely recommend, I would highly recommend you continue doing breath work. If you got our chants, I would encourage you, so anybody and everybody, to do breathing exercises before the chant. Then after you've done your breath, then go and hit the chant, or then go and do your visualization or concentration exercises, because it's the, as we said earlier on, it's your breathing that puts you in that alpha level, alpha state of awareness, and your esoteric practices become exponential or become enhanced. So I would definitely recommend you continue doing your breathing. And if you've got the chance, hey, do the chants after you're doing your breathing. Okay, I do recommend it. Or just do the breathing exercises just to, hey, as a means of just exercise alone. Yes, I do highly recommend you keep that up. Okay.
2 more questions. iPhone, how do you know of, well, the question doesn't really make sense. How do you know of you got on A1 Atlas? I'm not sure what the question is, not clear. So iPhone, if you want to clarify that. And the last question, please repeat the suggested YouTube channels.
Okay. The suggested YouTube channels. I said, yeah, the master key system. Just tap in the master key system and it will come up.
Okay, Evan has posted it anyway in the chat. So
Well done. There's another one here. This is a very, very good one as well. It's called Visualize This Way and Watch Your Reality Rewrite. That's a very good one as well. Yeah, just them, and I think Abdullah and Neville Goddard. That's a very interesting one as well. Very interesting one indeed. And
those are posted in the chat. Not sure if you have any questions in the Clubhouse chat, but I yield.
Any questions before you? Last question, last orders before we go. Last order, because
What about Zamal?
Go ahead, Zamal.
I would just like to know, why was the will created, and what is the purpose of us having a will?
Right, yeah. Will, first of all, what do you know about will? Or what? Give us what's your definition of will? What do you know about will?
My definition of will would be two of those opposing forces within, like you have the yin and yang, you have agreeable, disagreeable, and also I know the master teacher relates it to the 180 degrees of agreeable and disagreeable within you, and it's like a battle you have within yourself. Like in our language, it's called shawel, or in Arabic, it's called mashia, but it's that choice that you decide to choose.
Right, yeah. It's the ability to decide. Yeah, you're 100% right. The will is basically, it's undecided. It's your ability to decide upon a course of action. Will you buy this broccoli planting, or you buy the good planting? It's as simple as that. It's just will, just exercising will, the ability to choose. That's right.
Okay. So what would be the purpose of us having the ability to choose?
Yeah, that's deity, isn't it?
But then Parker Castle, Javadu, everyone has the ability to choose, no?
Yeah, you have the ability to choose. But what has happened is our will has been taken away from us, for lack of a better word, meaning that the master teachers put it like this. We don't really exercise will. When we go out in this environment, we're exercising multiple choice. A, B, C, D, or F. It's already been laid out. So will has already been set out. It's either we're going to choose this or this. When you're exercising will, I don't want to choose I don't want to choose that which is in front of me. I want to choose I want to choose something else that's not there. As the master teacher says, I'm not going to choose any of these shoes here. I'm going to create my own. Once you start creating your own, then you start exercising will. Okay. Remember, we're not saying free will, because that is a myth. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So once you start to elevate on the higher planes, you begin to realize that there is no will, because as it says in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, it says, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So when we elevate to that degree, whereby we want to exercise the will, or that divine will, exercising the divine will, you're now putting yourself in alignment with those divine higher forces. That is true will. You're now exercising you're now working in conformity to natural nature. That means then that you're now having, the master teacher puts it in the sacred wisdom, control over yourself and the lower forces, but everything is subjected to law on the higher planes.
Howard Tuxama.
Read the Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti, and it goes into that about the exercising of will. Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti. Okay. Unfortunately, fam, landlord number 2 has given me the timeout sign. Yeah, he's pulled down the shutters. He's pulled, no more drinks at the bar. That's it. We'd like to say thank you for another Wu-Sabat for attending class. Don't finish it. It's the closing speech. Don't want me out. You all want me out. I'm not just a landlord. You all want me out. Okay, you all want me out. That's it. Fam, until next time, Akhrus, give and take care. Wadu.